in my bag now, in my bag now.
What's up, YouTube? This is Javon back with another video. I'm coming to you guys more of a chit chat video. That's why I kind of dressed down, and I'm actually sitting on the floor because I just wanted to sit and chat with y'all. So I have my food. I got my Popeyes and my water. So because I just wanted to vibe with y'all real quick. So the topic today is depression. I know. Black people don't get depressed, myth, all that other stuff about how you're not really depressed and all that other stuff. The people that I'm talking to are the people who know that's a lie, and the people who don't know that's a lie. And I'm sorry if my glasses are glaring and the lighting's a little off. I just wanted to vibe with y'all real quick about this topic. I get it. Depression is one of those things that people don't understand. You can't get up in the morning. You don't understand why you're sad all the time. You go through periods of times where you don't even want to eat, sleep, or sleep is your only relief. Or you go through those periods of times where you just don't understand why you're so sad. And I'm here today to just talk about a little bit about my story and how I'm trying to overcome it, because I can't even lie and say, yeah, man, I'm over that. There's still days where I have to take some medicine, yes, some real antidepressants or whatever, and just be like, yo, I feel horrible, or I feel this. Whether your depression is caused number one by a tragedy or something you don't understand. I've dealt with depression. I'm about to turn 26 on Wednesday. But on the day this video is gonna actually go up. So today's my birthday. But I've dealt with depression since I was 13. The first time, and I'm sorry, that's my cat. But the first time that I dealt with depression was when my family had moved and relocated and all that other stuff. I didn't know how to deal with it, and I went through it with my sister as well. Hope you guys can see me. But I went through it with my sister as well, and we basically ate our way into depression. Or eating was our only escape. So, yeah, that's what we did. We ate, and we were we were skinny minis, and then when we ate and ate and ate, we got up to almost 150. Probably bigger than that, because we were so small. We could barely fit into school uniforms, and people were asking, dang, what happened to y'all? Y'all blew up. We were depressed. We didn't have any friends, and it was just hard to, from that point. And our family has moved a bunch of places, and trying to make friends, or you finally like a place and then you have to move and stuff like that. It's hard. It's really hard. And so we've dealt with depression from the age of 13 to now. Another reason for my depression has always been, well, I won't say always been, but some triggers have been previous relationships. I've been in really unhealthy relationships with men that abuse me mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. My last relationship was very, very, very manipulative, to a point of I was apologizing if he looked at another girl, or I was apologizing, or I was saying sorry, or stepping out of my comfort zone. I was crying all the time. It just took a toll on who I was, especially because the relationship prior to that was very physically abusive. And the crazy part is, they'll both, if they watch this video or something, they'll both call me a liar and say that those things didn't happen. But I'll never forget being in a classroom and my teacher actually pointing out some bruises. Don't be me. And if you are me, get out of. Because I was so broken down and so depressed at that point that I didn't know what to do. friends had abandoned me, and I didn't blame them. Even my sister had started looking at me differently, and it was crazy because me and my sister lived in a dorm room together and didn't speak because I was in this really broken relationship. And she had got to the point of she couldn't help me. Nobody could help me. Only reason why I even left that physically damaging relationship, it was mentally damaging too, is because he broke up with me when I came home, because I was at school in Alabama, and he broke up with me when I came home for the summer. And I know you was like, oh, you took the summer to rebuild. I spent the summer praying to God that he would bring that horrible man back to me, acting like I was okay, and I really wasn't. When I went back to school, I showed up at his house. His grandma was there and everything, and I waited and waited and waited and waited for him. And he came off of work, and he saw me, and he lied to me. Told me that everything was good, everything was amazing. And then I was texting him, I was thinking that everything was cool, and he embarrassed me. So I went back to his house like a dummy. This time I was all dressed up. Grandma was there and everything. He pulls up, he comes in the house and acts like he doesn't even know who I am. Then when I went back to his room, he choked me. And I'll never forget that. He choked me. And at that point, because I had a huge bruise on my neck when I went back to, he lived an hour away from my college campus. When I went back there, I was like, I can't believe this. How did I allow myself to do it again? So, he sat. Well, at that point, I was like, oh, okay, I have to. So I spent that time rebuilding. But I'm going to tell you why the devil's funny and why this goes hand in hand with your depression. Because the devil has a way, and I'm sorry, I won't even call myself religious. I'll just say that me and Jesus are super cool, super dope. That has become one of my best friends. He is my light. He is my everything. But it got to a point of, when I had finally groped myself back up, when God had finally groped myself back up, he sat, and all of a sudden he starts calling again and popping up. And even till this day, that happened, 4 years ago? Even till this day, he's still writing me apologizing. And it's just so, I'm over it. Because even if I allow myself to sit and not accept apologies, number one, because I realize you have to accept apologies. That's the only way you're going to get over any tragedy. You have to accept apologies that you're never going to get. Because he won't apologize for abusing me, won't apologize for misusing me. The only thing he can sit and apologize for is, I couldn't love you the way you wanted to be loved. Don't accept those, boo. I'm talking to my females. Don't accept anything less than what you are. Whether you refer to yourself as a queen, a B-word, or whatever, you are dope. You are so dope. Don't sit and allow yourself to be treated as anything as anything less than that. On my wall, I had to put, positive self-talk, and I have little, I just have it on the top, and then I just have little things that I say to myself when I'm feeling good about myself. It says, you are beautiful, you are happy, and I'm looking at it right now, and I'll try to pan through it. It says, you are loved, you are dope, you are amazing, you are God's favorite, you are smart, you are all those things. Don't let yourself, don't get to a point. I'm sorry, I hope you guys can see me, but don't get to a point where, don't get to a point where you think this is the only thing that you deserve. You don't deserve to be cheated on. You don't deserve to be lied to. You definitely don't deserve to be hit or sexually abused by your partner. You don't deserve that. I don't care where you've been what happened to you when you were a kid. I don't care what type of relationships you have with your father. You do not deserve that. Period. And like, this all ties into depression, but I just wanted to put that little segment in there because I allowed myself by the next relationship to be very, very, very manipulated. And he's probably going to watch this video, and he's probably going to call my phone and be all this. And like I said, I forgave him too. You have to forgive people for apologies you never received, because I know he will sit and he'll say, I didn't do that. I didn't lie to you. I didn't do none of that. Okay. But, yeah. So, like, back to depression. Like, and I know some college freshmen are watching this, or just anybody in college or anyone out of college. Like, I'm out of college and I'm in grad school, and here I am still living with my parents and all this other stuff. And it's like, hey, like, you get down on yourself of, at this age, like at 19, by 26, you couldn't have told me I would be here living with my parents, still working, trying to pay off debt, in grad school definitely, and all this other stuff. But I realized so often we create our own plans and our own scenarios for ourselves that doesn't quite match up with God's. And I realize that more and more and more. But in the times of deep, dark depression, you can fall into deep, dark depression. And in those times, the only place that I've ever found peace is in Jesus. And I know, like, people are like, oh, what if I don't go to church and all this stuff? Fine. If you don't listen to gospel music, because gospel music is my, like, safe haven. Like, gospel music has a song for every tragedy, every whatever you've ever been through. So if you find a positive playlist, I'm sure Spotify and all this other stuff, or listen to some positive affirmations. Like I sat some days at work, I sit and I listen to positive affirmations, because I usually get down on myself and I struggle with this all the time. I get down on myself because of my weight. And I know y'all like, dang, she looks skinny. But everybody, I'm not skinny. Number one, I still got some chubs on my stomach or whatever. And, I beat up myself. And I know this video is all over the place, but I just wanted to really vibe with y'all about this because I felt it. And I've experienced some things, and one day I'll sit and I'll talk to you guys about them. But that I've sat in my bed, and cried myself to sleep. And it doesn't have to be that. Or if you need to cry yourself to sleep, cry yourself to sleep. But you get up that next morning, you say, I'm going to do this. One thing I found helped was when I experienced a tragedy, my room was one way. So, when I got out of that tragedy, or in order to try to make me feel better, I rearranged my room. So I moved my bed a certain way so I don't have those memories. Or if you can move rooms, because when I went through that physically abusive relationship, I had the room across the hall. Now my little sister has this room, and I have my brother's old room. Another thing is, to get over it, you have to pull yourself out of bed and try to exercise. Those things called endorphins, they release, and once they release, they give you that little spark in your brain that says, hey, today's a good day. I find solitude in exercising, like, especially accomplishing something. Like, I am so slow when I run, beyond slow. My mile is like at 15 minutes. And like, I think the shortest one was at 11 minutes. I am so slow. But to know that I can run a mile, or jog a mile, we'll say jog. To know that I can jog a mile without stopping, I felt so accomplished that it brought me to tears, because it was like, yo, I'm doing it. Like, I'm getting up out of bed every day, and I'm making it. And I think people don't give enough credit for people. They be like, oh, you're patting yourself on the back for nothing. No, I'm patting myself on the back for something. I've accomplished something. I've also tried, so I got a little journal from Walmart. It was like $3. And I write down one simple goal for the day. And I try to accomplish that. So like, my goal today was to make this video. As hard as it may be, and I'm like, try not to cry or whatever. As hard as it may be, I'm really trying. Like, I've accomplished that goal. So, that's the way, and I know they say depression hurts, and I know you feel like if you ever feel alone, you don't have friends, you don't have family, yo, message me on YouTube. Just message me. I respond to all messages, all comments, or whatever. Just message me and just tell me, like, hey, I need a friend. I am your friend. Do you hear me? We will get through this thing through call life together, okay? Or if you need some advice, whether it's boyfriend advice or girlfriend advice from my fellas, or, I just wanted to, YouTube a little bit has got so kind of scripted. And I know some of my favorite YouTubers, like, they talked about this too, how YouTube kind of scripted. So I wanted to just get out of that and, like, hey, especially, like, black people, like, I know some black people try to act like depression doesn't exist or stuff like that. I'm here to tell you, okay, it exists. So now what are we going to do about it? So I say exercise and praying. Those are my two ways. Oh, and if you don't have anyone else, and not even if you don't have anyone else, if you scared and terrified to go to your family, go to your friends and say, hey, I'm depressed, really message me. My social medias, all that other stuff, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, or YouTube, message me. And hey, we are buddies, and I will try my best to help you walk through this thing. But yeah, and I wanted to talk about, like, abusive relationships too, because I'm in a very, I would say, a positive relationship right now. There's, everybody has ups and downs or whatever, but I found myself a lot of times feeling ways, or, start arguments or crying out of nowhere because I've been so tragically abused in those other relationships that I don't know how to allow a man to treat me right. Sometimes I don't even know how to allow me to treat me right. And that goes all into self-love and how you gotta learn that. And when somebody steals that from you, you don't understand. And you're so lost, and you don't know why you allow certain things to happen, and then when people try to help you, you don't want that help, and you end up in a whirlwind of choosing the wrong thing. You have to love yourself, and I know it's so hard. I'm still learning, and I'm about to turn 26. So what I've been realizing and loving myself is allowing myself to be spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially stable. Okay? And so I go through those things of, alright, so the first one was financially. So financially, hey, I'm a college student or graduate student. I'm in debt. Okay, cool. So I allow myself to not get down on myself, but to create a plan of how I'm going to get out of those things. How I'm going to get out of debt. So instead of, like, sitting here feeling depressed, like, oh my God, I don't got no money, I've created a plan. And like I said, I don't have all this together or whatever. This is just stuff that I've done, so I'm here to share it with y'all. I've created a plan on how, hey, all right, cool. I'm this much in debt, so this is how much a month I can contribute to my debt, and I leave it alone. I even give myself room to, if I want to shop, because my thing is, I can't stop living life. And that's the thing, it all comes down to. And then so next one is emotionally. I'm not one of those people who, I don't have a dad and all this other stuff. The crazy part is my dad taught me all these things, and he's the one that usually gives me all this bomb advice, especially when it comes to relationships. My mom does too, but like, and I've still allowed myself, even watching my dad treat my mom like a queen, even better than that, I still allow myself in relationships that I'm getting treated like I'm nothing. And I'm sure it hurts my parents to sit and watch that. And when I finally came and told my parents I've been physically abused, my parents were like, my dad cried for me. So the next thing is, I've allowed myself, because I was physically abused, I allow myself to be physically stable now. So that includes things like exercising and eating right. I'm going to take care of me because I can't depend on anyone, especially not a man, to take care of me. Next one, emotionally. This one's tough because I allow myself, even to this day, to emotionally attack me every single day. Every single day. And it sucks. Like, it really sucks because I'll be like, oh, like, even my current relationship now, I allow myself to think, he's never going to do me right. He doesn't really love me, like, day in and day out. And it sucks. Like, it really sucks. So that's all I have to write every day. And I like write lines. And I make affirmations on my wall of, Jerron, you love yourself. And I stare in the mirror. And I write sticky notes to myself. Jerron, you are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. And people will be like, oh, that's dumb. No, I take 5 minutes every morning and look myself in the mirror and tell me how smart I am, how dope I am. I take the time, and I would sit and I would say that to one of my friends if they got broken up with or they had low self-esteem or something. So I'm going to say it to myself. I am my favorite person. I am my homegirl. And I have to take care of me, period. So, spiritually. And, I don't know if I'm talking to, people that go to church or what. But I allow myself 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night to talk to God. And that's just what's helped for me. It's not about going to church. It's not about none of that. I allow myself to talk to God because my thing is, you never stop growing with God. I'll never know and understand every plan He has for me or whatever. But I have found joy in talking to God. And the crazy part is, joy and happiness aren't interchangeable. People try to say it's interchangeable. It's not. Happiness is like, oh man, everything's great. Joy is saying, in spite of this current storm, I'm still going to find the good. And so I got this tattoo about a year ago. And it's James 1:2. And it says, above all things, count it all joy. Or consider it great joy. And so I got it tattooed on me because I have to remember, whatever I go through, because I was scared. So whether it's that college class or whether it's that high school class or that middle school class, that's killing you, you have to consider it great joy, and you have to give your problems over to God. I found out, Lord, alright, I messed up. I got with old dude. And I let him do those things to me. I let him say those things to me. And even with all the red flags that you gave me, Jesus, I messed up. But I found out in admitting those things to God and saying, hey, this is where I messed up. God doesn't fault you. He don't. He's always picked me up in the most loving way. And that's just my testimony. I promise you, y'all, He will do the same for you. Even if you never crapped over in a Bible or even prayed before. And I don't want to make this overly spiritual, but this is just my life. So I said financially, physically, mentally. Mentally and emotionally kind of interchangeable to me because mentally I have to tell myself Javon, you are dope. You are wonderful. You are amazing, boo. Those type of things, I'm sorry, I'm looking up here. But those type of things, y'all, if you feel the need to say them, or scream to the top of your lungs in your shower, or just in the quiet of night when you're crying, you are happy, you are smart, you are amazing. I'm going to tell them to you. So, here, I'll tell them to you. You, whoever's watching this video, yes, you are beautiful or handsome. You are loved. Who are you loved by? Me. You are dope. like so dope. You are amazing. You are smart. You are happy, or you will find happiness, or you have joy. And above all else, God loves you, okay? God loves you. So, this is just part one of this video. Like, I want to have more, like, these little chit-chats with y'all about, just different stuff about, like, just life in general. Like, it don't have to be advice. I'm probably just going to come in here with some random stuff. Like, I'm not one of those people that have all the things in the world or have it all together. Like, I really don't. I really don't. So, this is just part one of this video. Just, self-love and things like that. Because, I'm still learning that. I'm still learning that. Like, shoot. My sister will tell you in a heartbeat. My parents will tell you. Shoot, my boyfriend will even tell you, like, yo, Javon's trying to still learning to figure herself out and to love herself and, not point out all these flaws about herself. But, like, as I'm learning, it's so liberating. Liberating to love yourself, to fully love yourself. And it's crazy because I won't say I've never felt this, but, like, I went through a time where I didn't feel it at all. So, like I said, this is just part one. I will have a part two. Shoot, y'all want to do part 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just tell me in the comments what you want me to talk about as far as, or, if you suffer from depression or something, you want me to hit on some more stuff. But, like I said, this is just part one. This is all I can think of right now. But I'm sure, like, as soon as I click the unrecord button, I'll think of something else. So, and I had a little list, but, I just wanted to vibe with y'all on some real stuff. So, yeah. Like I said, if you do suffer from depression, and, definitely hit me up. Like, I'm not going to let you go through anything alone. I am your friend. I am your confidant. I am your counselor. All that stuff. So, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell so y'all know when part 2 is going to be up and all that other stuff. Or if you just watch this video and you're like, oh, okay. But, yeah.
That's a vibe. I'm on a vibe. That's a vibe.